Hello, my name is Nwachukwu. I am passionate about global community integration. You see, situations and circumstances in life have separated us from our true self. The community, the society at large, even the government. People need answers, even when some of these answers may seem far-fetched. They want to be motivated, transformed from A to B. When to say yes and when to say no. How can we achieve this? I personally believe that we all have transferable skills, knowledge, wisdom, experience gained over the years, packed inside of us. We can pass this on as a legacy to our next generation for a better economy, better society. Now, the steps to take. TinaTalks is looking for people like yourself. Yes, you. People who have captivating story to share. Leaders who have ideas, even the government. The people want to know what plans you have for them. On TinaTalks show, together we would aim to bridge the gap, mend the cracks. We look forward to hearing from you. Welcome to TinaTalks show. It's me, your host, Nwachukwu. The topic today is, can living with sickle cell anemia stop you from living a fulfilled life? I have my special guest here with me today, Miriam Kay. She will help us to understand some of these questions. Thank you so much, Miriam Kay. Thank you for coming to the studio to come to share this, what I think is very profound. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Now, what does it mean? What is sickle cell anemia?
Okay.
If you help us to understand this.
All right. So, sickle cell disease, sickle cell anemia, is a genetic disorder. We normally, people usually have round red blood cells.
Okay.
And red blood cells are responsible for carrying oxygen and all of that in the blood. But for somebody who has sickle cell, our own blood cells are not red. They turn into like a C shape.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a crescent kind of shape. And because of that, it gets stuck and causes complications like pain. So there are different varieties. So when we say sickle cell disease is a genetic disorder, what it means by that is that it's something that is passed on through your genes. It's not something that you catch, as some people
think like it's transfer, like it's like infection.
No, it's not. It's not airborne. It's not transferable skin to skin. No, if it's you can only get it if it's in your genes. So with me, my parents, my mom is a carrier, has traits, and my dad is a carrier, have traits. So when they had me, they have me, my brother first, but he came as a carrier as well, and me. But when they did not even know much about sickle cell. And what it means to have traits and be a carrier, this is somebody that does not, don't suffer from it. So we have genes that are dominant and genes that are recessive. So a carrier is somebody who has the gene within them that is recessive. So they don't get any impact, they don't get any effect like we do. But it is in their genes, meaning that they can pass it on to their own offspring. So that's what happens with my own. So my own parents, they're not sufferers, and I don't know of other people in my family that were. So there wasn't much information about it. So, but when I came, of course, I ended up inheriting both the faulty genes from both parents, and that's how I ended up having sickle cell.
You did mention carrier. what is the carrier? Is it like when, because for me personally, I mean, I've heard AS. I mean,
Yes.
I'm aware of the word AS
Yeah.
and not carrier.
Okay.
So when you say your dad had that he's a carrier, your mom is a carrier, is it like AS
Yes,
and
AS.
AS?
Yes,
Okay.
AS and AS.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to sickle cell, there are a variety of sickle cell.
Okay.
And a lot of people know about AS and SS. I am SS. But there's also SC. So there are variations of genes. But the most common ones are SS and AS. So AS is also somebody who has AS. It means they have one normal gene and one faulty gene. The A represent the normal gene. The S represent the faulty gene.
Oh, okay.
So when they have an offspring, they say there's a 1 in 4 chance that that child can have sickle cell, and then there's a 2 in 4 chances that they will be a carrier, and 1 in 4 that they'll be AA. But what people need to know is that that is with every child. It doesn't mean if you have 4 kids, you're going to have 2 carriers, one.
Exactly.
It does not work like that.
Like that.
The cycle starts with each and every child. So the tail is the same way.
It's the
so
same way,
each child that you have, there's a possibility that 1 out of 4 can be an SS, 1 out of 4 can be AA, and then 2 out of 4 can be AS
as well. Yeah.
Yes, that's if both of you are AS.
AAS. Okay.
Like for me now, I'm SS.
Okay.
And my husband's AA.
Okay.
So my kids can only take S from me and A from the dad. So they did not need to get tested because they can only, I don't have A, I only have S.
So is the S that is the faulty gene?
Yes, S is the
so your
faulty
husband is not a carrier.
No.
So but you are carrier because you've got the S there.
SS.
So it's when
So
the S comes.
so
I
I'm
see.
I have SS.
Yeah.
And he's AA.
Okay.
So my kids, they can only take A from their dad. He does not have anything else,
Yeah.
and S from me.
Yeah.
So they did not even need to wait for them to get tested.
Yeah. Okay.
But for somebody whose parents are AS, they can only confirm what you are through a blood test.
Blood test, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is really kind of very interesting, like because
quite
people
complex.
quite complex, and I think a lot of people misunderstood it. So this is why I took special interest in trying to understand what this is. You know, at what point did you come to realize that this is actually my reality? You know, I mean, how was it for you? You know,
for me, I was born in Africa, West Africa, Sierra Leone. So I was born there, and when my mom had found out after having my brother, because before that she did not know about being a carrier anything like that. But after having my brother, and my brother was sick and so they had tests done and found out my brother was a carrier. So of course then my mom's like, okay, that means this gene is in our blood.
Yeah, in our blood.
So
yeah.
When my mom came over to the UK in 1994, when I was 4 years of age. So, but before she came, I remember she vividly told me that there was a time I was not a crying child, like I was very peaceful, as she says. But there was a time she said I was just crying endlessly.
How old were you this time?
That time, this time is just after I was born. I was still, I think, less than 1, and there was nothing she could do to stop me. So that kind of triggered her. You know what? Let me get her tested before I travel to the UK. So she got me tested, but they told her I was AS, not to worry. So my mom was like, rest assured, she's fine. She's just a carrier, and left me with my extended family, my grandma and my aunties. So she came over to the UK, and I still remember this like it was yesterday. At the age of 6, I was in primary school. We had just come back from lunch, and I sat down. Usually we're supposed to put our bags, there's a designated area for me. And I sat down, and the teacher told me to take my bag there. I could not get up. So at first, everybody started laughing because they thought I was joking or whatever. To the point the teacher even took the cane and started, because knowing that, but the only reason why she did not even hit me, because I am not somebody that you give instructions and I don't follow. You know, I always follow the instructions. So when she was telling me, get up, and I was telling her I can't move, and then I started crying. So luckily for me, my mom's youngest sister and my brother, they kind of aged me. So she was in the same school as me, the primary. She was in the upper primary. I was just in class 2 that time. So my teacher sent for somebody to get my auntie. She came. She literally had to carry me.
Wow.
And I remember feeling as if somebody just came and just put a knife into my bones.
Wow.
I was in excruciating pain. I didn't know what to do. My auntie literally carried me in her back, took me home. When we went, the minute my grandma saw, my grandma started checking, like, what's wrong? Is her bone broken? Because the way I was screaming, my bones, like, it was just pain, excruciating pain that you can't even quantify.
Wow.
And this time, after that episode, I was sick for 3 to 4 months continuously. I couldn't go to school. I went to the point I was only able to walk. I had to be taught how to walk like a baby.
Seriously.
And that's the time I kind of started realizing that, hold on, is this how my life is going to be? But what still gave my family hope was that we could not get any verification. Every doctor was telling us something different. I was diagnosed with some illnesses I've never even heard and I don't even remember. Malaria, typhoid, you name it. I've had it all.
Wow.
You know, but as time went on and it became a regular occurrence.
So you now realize that
I started realizing
that this is going to be it's going to be
for
a while. For a while. You know, listening to the way you take you back to memory lane and bringing all those to me. It makes me wonder, like, it sounds to me that it's not something that you start to experience the pain from like a baby.
No.
Like, so does it mean that even when you have this SS, it starts on a different level, different ages for everyone?
Yes, for everybody it's different. But because as I say,
yours started at least when you were in primary school.
Yeah, I was around 6 years of age.
Okay.
But usually it is different.
Or were you kind of like sick? Sorry to cut. I'm just trying to understand because I'm trying to understand if it has certain age when it will start to manifest.
There's no specific for like there's not like a blueprint saying this is what's going to happen. Every person is different.
Okay.
But based on the research that I've done with my foundation, because we have, right now we have over 60 people that are registered with us. So based on the information, interviews I've done, collected, most people seem to be around that age.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the interviews, I still have them on record. Most of the people that we interview, parents, kids,
they start to
around that
experience
age.
it. Yeah.
But actually, they do say that even when you have SS, it's very rare for a child to have a crisis below the age of 1. 1, 2. The reason being, when we are born, we're born with baby hemoglobin.
Okay.
So this baby hemoglobin, it protects you around that time. And then your blood cells start to break down. Yeah. And that's the time they start changing.
Now it makes sense. Yeah, now it's all come together. Yeah. Coming to that place where you now realize, wow, this is actually my reality. You know, another thing that I know that I feel like a lot of people would want to understand is, are you married?
Yes, I am.
And did it pose any kind of challenge or like a stumbling block?
Well, for me, I think I was blessed to have like a family that, especially my mom, that always kind of gave me that boost of confidence from the time I was young. And my mom made sure to kind of prepare me. You know, you can never prepare your child for that, but to make sure I know I was well informed, and also with the support of my doctors from the time I was a teenager, they let me know this is what you have. You have to watch out for this, and that you have SS. If your partner does have even AS, there's going to be a very high chance that your child is going to have sickle cell.
That is very, very interesting. Another area that I want to understand, you see, because, I'm going to be speaking, I understood it. I had the stereotype about sickle cell anemia. So that is why I feel privileged to be sitting right in front of you and trying to understand what this is. Now, some people from what growing up, they would say, oh, you can't get married, if you have this kind of condition, then nobody will come for you. So this is why I'm kind of like wondering, like, did your husband understood that, and was he prepared to kind of like cope with the situation? What comes with it?
With the burden that comes with it. Yeah. So with me, when I met my husband, from the get-go, he was very much interested in something serious, and literally before the first date,
that was true love, isn't it?
I had let him know before that first date. I'd explained to him,
you did.
I have sickle cell, and I'm SS, and this is this, this is that. And at first he was all right, but I wanted him to understand. And funnily enough, just as soon as we were getting to know each other, there was a time I had a crisis, right? And I didn't tell him because I'm like, we're not like right now, like I've not said, yes, I want to be with you.
Yeah.
So I did not tell him, but he had happened to call me, and as soon as he heard, he realized I was there. And even though I tried to, like, he was just like, send me the address. I'm like, oh my God, this guy better just leave me, or you will come and be running for the hills. So I actually have the picture, which I'll send. Maybe you can have it.
Okay.
So he came to the hospital that very day after I'd refused to tell him, but it went on for a while, so I sent him the address. He came there, bought me food, and I was in the hospital gown. I had an oxygen mask.
Wow.
I was connected to all the sort of things. And he looked at me after I had the food and everything, and he sat on the bed, and he's like, so when are you going to give me an answer? And I was like, this guy still wants to be with me after all of this.
And I mean, it sounds like a God sent.
And there's a picture we actually took that moment.
Beautiful.
So it was that very moment that I was like, I think he is for me. And it was in the hospital that I said, all right, I'll give this relationship a go. And when I did as well, I kind of explained to him to get him to understand what it's about. And besides sickle cell, I also have something called endometriosis. And I had a lot of issues from puberty, from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I had to go through a lot. I even had to, at one point, they had to freeze my reproductive system at a young age because of how difficult it was. And so because of all of this invasion and all of that, they had let me know the chances of you having, because I was always saying I want a child. When my sister had my nephew, I fell in love with him, and I just wanted
to have yours
joy one day.
So
when they had said to me that the chances were slim to none, I did not hide that from him. I told him straight up.
So you were
yes,
very
I was
open.
I was forthcoming
because
because I wanted it. It's either now we go our separate ways, then later on, feeling that pressure, it might just ruin everything.
Yeah.
Because for me, the way I looked at it, I'm honest with him. If he's not ready for it, we can still be friends.
Exactly.
Then to come and do that. So I was still very much forthcoming with him about that. But he just said, it's you that I love, and I believe in God.
Exactly.
And God will make it.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like he was really, like you said, a God sent.
Don't
for
give
you.
him too much praise, though.
No, I have to.
I know you're watching this and thinking.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. I mean, it sounds like that because not in all situations, even people without any known condition as yours, they still can't find true love. Somebody who would understand that you're going through this kind of thing, and still right there in the sick bed, actually say to you, are you going to tell me yes now? Or are you so it also goes to show that there are still people out there. Just in case somebody's out there thinking, it's over for me. I may never find somebody to love me. You are a typical example. And your husband has proven that as well. That love, covers everything. With love, all things
and my sickle cell is quite bad. It's quite bad.
And he stood up by you. Now, another thing again, people would say, okay, one thing is for your husband or yourself to decide to get married. Another thing is, will they be able to have children? So can you tell us, after the marriage, what else happened?
So when once I had, as I was saying earlier, I told him that, because of X, Y, and Z, the doctors have said this may not happen. So if this is a deal breaker for you, and if you don't feel that, if you really want a child, then you feel like, if I can't get that from a woman, then it's not going to work. I think it's better we just go our separate ways now. But he still said, I fell in love with you, and whatever comes with you, we'll deal with it, but I believe in God. And I even remember talking to my grandma about it, my mom, and they also said, as long as you guys, believe in God, put it in prayers, and let God lead the way. So I was traveling back home, but before I went, I'd spoken to my doctors about it, and they told me that, okay, go on your holiday. When you come back, because some of my medications, you cannot be on them and get pregnant.
I'm really happy that you mentioning that, because I was going to ask, what advice did they ask you? Did they say don't have children because of the challenges that you may face, or what were the doctor's advice?
They were just like, we will take the steps towards that, but just be realistic, So just in case, but let's start first somewhere, and then whatever happens, we will then know how to deal with it moving forward. So what they did was, we had a plan that when I came back from my holiday, they were going to stop the medication because I have to be off it 6 months before I can get pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise the pregnancy will not survive. And then they had also booked an appointment for me to go and see a reproductive specialist, and also to go and see my gynecologist again, because I was seeing a gynecologist specialist, and I was on, treatment and things. And I was also on the pill to help with my endometriosis. So I had all of this. I went on my holiday, I came back, and I remember when I came back, as soon as the time I came back, it was just a few days, and it was my husband's birthday. And I remember when I was in Sevilla, when I said, his birthday's coming, so my aunt was like, what would you want to get him? And I was like, I know this, I was just joking. I was like, if I can get him a child for his birthday, I know he will be on top of the world. But it was just a joke. And so his birthday came, and I could not really think of where I wanted to get him. So I just did a little get-together. So I told him that, all right, I'm still thinking about it. I'll get you something special. Don't worry. I just said it, and that's it. But while I was on holiday, when I went to church, I spoke to the pastor. We prayed over it. And I remember praying to the point I was crying. And I felt, and I actually, after service that day, I was speaking to my husband, and I was like, I don't know what it is, babe. I just feel like something special is going to happen. Like, that kind of prayer, you pray, you cry, you feel it.
You feel it, wow.
I was literally, like a child, and I was like, I don't know what it is. But I just felt like something special was going to happen. And I actually said it to him on the phone. But you know what? And I came back, and my plan was come back, get on, because I had my foundation and everything. So I was like, come back, get on with it. I got it registered while I was there, and sorting out everything. So that was my focus for that year. And then I'd come back, and I remember just having pains and all that, going into hospital. And they would check, like, no, it's just maybe a normal crisis.
Can you imagine that hour, that moment?
And I remember it was just the other day I saw the discharge letter. They had even done a pregnancy test that was negative. So they even wrote on the discharge letter. I saw the video when I was packing, and I literally just kept it. So this was a week after that test was negative. My nephew that I was saying that like my first love, he just kept going on about, Auntie Mary, when you have your child, when you have your kids, can we go on a family holiday? I was like, Denzel, you're my baby. Yes. So when you have your babies, can we go on a family holiday? I was like, you're my baby. I don't have other babies. You're going to be my baby. So this day now, my sister called me that she was running late. So I went to pick up my nephew. I was cooking out on everything, went to pick up my nephew, and it's like, Auntie, remember the baby's here? I was like, what baby? What babies do you keep going on about? And then I remember, like, hold on. I have not seen my period in a while. But my one, it used to just take vacation sometimes for 3 months and come
and
back.
then it comes out whenever.
Yes,
yeah,
you know them
yeah.
African kids,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the kind I
yeah,
have.
Yeah.
So this day I was like, you know what, let me just rule it out. So I can just, you know when you just like, let me just do it, forget about it and move on.
Yeah.
And I dipped it and I even left it and I went. And then I remembered that I came back and I saw the 2 lines. And
you saw the 2 lines?
2 lines. And I don't away the box. Now I don't even know which one is positive and negative. So I called my sister. I was like, sis, when you do a pregnancy test, which one is the positive? Which one is pregnant with 2 or 1? And she said 2. I was like, I'll call you back. I got off the phone. I took another one. Again, waited 2. I was like, okay, this is something.
This is not joke anymore. This is not like, there's no mistake now.
Yeah. I was like, don't get, I'm slow. It's just another alarm. Because every condition you can find, it's like, it's just another alarm.
Wow.
But then I could not hold it. When my husband came, I ended up telling him. He was over the moon. I was like, don't get too excited. Let's get confirmation.
Exactly.
Got confirmation from the GP, and then I was still having this pain. So they're like, let's go and check and see what's going on. They did a scan. And I sat there, and the sonographer was just like, the way she was doing her face, I was like, is the baby okay? And she turned the screen to me, and she's like, yeah, they're fine.
They are fine.
What do you mean they?
Well.
I was like, what do you mean they? For 5 minutes, I couldn't speak. I couldn't
Ladies
move.
and gentlemen, did you hear that? 2 babies. 2
twins.
Babies. 2 bouncy babies. Listen, guys, I have to show you guys the picture of these twins. So you see the amazing children. So nothing is impossible. Like she did say, with God, all things are possible. The husband trusted God, she trusted God. And like you see, the miracle happened. But we have more juicy topic. She's going to be exploring with us. Miriam Kay, there's something that there's this notion of that, you don't have sickle cell anemia in the Western world. That is got to do with Africa. You understand? So can you help us to understand, has it got anything to do with where one is born?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with where you're born, your location. It's genetics.
It's genetics.
And genetics don't need a visa to travel. You can travel anywhere.
Anyway.
So
yeah,
it's not. So even if you are here, there's still, if you are a carrier,
your mom and dad,
yes,
once
exactly.
you carry it, you carry it.
Once it's in the genes, it's in the genes.
And also, having said that, I think I did some research and I found out that even some of the Europeans, they do carry AS as well. I was dumbfounded when I found that out. I was like, what? And true testimonies.
Yes.
I was like, I thought it's a tropical thing, like
genes
it's African
spread.
thing.
Genes spread, and that's one thing we have to realize. Genes spread.
That it's about the blood. It's about the blood, the gene.
Exactly.
What makes you? If you marry somebody who has it, it passes.
Just like when sometimes you do a genetic test and you find out you are 10% European, but you've lived in Africa all your life, so you're wondering how, because of genetics over time. And also, as I said, there are a variety of types of sickle cell. There's even also sickle beta thalassemia, which affects a lot of Asian people. It's not just, it's just that it's a majority of us that have it is because it's something that started around that area.
So it seems,
traveled, as we have, gone out and had kids with other races, cultures, it has spread and will continue. And that's why I always campaign on getting tested. Don't wait until you are pregnant to find out.
To find out what to expect.
So genotype is very important. Because when you don't want to be in a situation where they're asking you to choose between you having that baby and maybe that baby coming to, so for whatever the case may be, or you deciding for that life not to exist. You don't want to have that. And also, I am not a supporter of, if you don't be together in any way, avoid that. That's something you cannot avoid. Love happens. You don't. Sometimes you can't help who you fall in love with.
That's so true. That is so true.
It's about being educated. It's about having information and making sure you seek genetic counseling, which can be offered. GPs, so they will make sure that you are prepared.
Exactly.
Because
being educated, to educate yourself, be aware, be on the know, try to understand what is happening around you, try to understand who you are with.
So you are prepared.
You are prepared.
If it does happen that your child has sickle cell also, it's not a taboo. It's not the end of the world. I'm sitting here today.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 30 years of age.
Wow.
I was told I will make it past 16, but I'm here.
Wow.
And sometimes, even with my mom, even though she's watched me suffer and everything, she always says it, and I completely, truly agree with her. She won't change a thing, and neither will I, because it's made me who I am.
Who you are today, definitely, definitely. It also comes with, I think you did mention how it feels like the experience. It feels like a start from the first time, the first you experience this thing. Right now, at the moment, you mentioned you're 30 years of age. What are the kind of symptoms that you experience, and how are you able to manage it, especially having a husband and also having 2 children, twins at the same time? Like, when the symptoms, when you experience the symptoms, what is it like? Is it as in pain, your leg, your what part do you experience this?
And one thing I want everybody to know, when it comes to sickle cell, the only thing we all have in common is that we have a disease called sickle cell, but our experiences are very different. Yeah. The way we get, some people is not even pain. Some people is complications with organs like their liver, so all sort of things. There's some people like me that is more so pain. Luckily for me, there are people that have gone through God knows how many operations. Luckily for me, besides my cesarean, I've not had to undergo operations for complications that, but for me now, I get the pain. I get the pain, and my pain can come on at any time, anywhere, any place. It just appears, And
how do you manage it when it happens? Are there signs?
Sometimes,
because just like you said, it can happen anytime, anywhere.
There are times when I will get signs. I'll start feeling like weak and all of that. And there are times when I'll literally, maybe I will speak to somebody, I will be with people, I'm fine, and then by the time they speak to me the next morning, I'm in A&E. So it can happen very quick, and it can develop as well. It depends. There are times that it can be triggered by different things, and that's the problem. It can be triggered by so many things. Cold. It can be triggered by stress. Imagine with life, and when you have 2 kids, stress is,
it's one of it.
So it's tattooed on your forehead. So it can be triggered by that. It can be triggered by also the atmosphere. If it's too hot, it's a problem. If it's too cold, it's a problem. If you're dehydrated, it's a problem. If you have an infection, it's a problem. So you literally, it goes to a point.
Don't know what to expect.
Unless
just
you want to wrap yourself
day
in a bubble, and so many things can trigger it.
Yeah.
But for me, I just try to. I have come to know my body. I know when I can cope, and I try to as best as possible, especially because I hate having to leave my kids and the disruption it causes in our lives.
I was gonna look into that. How the children. How old are they now, if you don't mind me asking?
They're
3 years of age. Have they start to understand what mom is going through?
The funny thing, when they were babies, I remember when I first had them, and I remember crying to my mom. Like every time I would be in hospital, I would be crying to my mom, and I was feeling like the impact it will have on them, having to leave them. But when God is ready to do something, you don't even know.
Exactly.
It's gone to the point now, the understanding, the way those kids are caring.
Wow.
To the point,
Amazing.
my daughter, 3 years of age, In fact, now she doesn't want us to call her Hannah. Her name is Dr. Hannah.
Oh, bless her. She probably will go for doctorate degree.
Temperature. She knows about, like, she has the medical equipment.
Oh, bless her.
This girl can take a phone, and one time, me and my husband were there. She just went 999. Hello, can I get an ambulance? I was like, Jesus.
I'm not ready to go in the hospital now. Not today.
Every time, even if I go, oh, Mommy, are you okay? Mommy, you need an ambulance. I'm like, no, Mommy's okay.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So they have the understanding, and now the way my mom helped them to understand that when Mommy goes, it's just for Mommy to get better and come back. So now they don't take it as it's not a sad thing, because to them they see it as Mommy just needs to get better so she can come back stronger for us. So when I'm there, I talk to them on video call and everything. And when I come, when I say they're so caring, even like they will, if I manage to sleep, they will come and cover me. They'll get my bag. They will be the ones telling me, reminding me to take my medicine. And they will be, my daughter will tell, imagine they're twins, but that one is like her maturity is another level. She'll tell my son, go sit down now. Mommy's tired. Mommy's not sick. Sit down.
That's really,
so they understand.
It's a blessing.
It hasn't so far had that negative impact on them.
And I think the way it is now with them, I think they're just going to carry on like that, in a positive way. Yes, somebody listening now, might be thinking, maybe she's not really telling us everything. Is it all rosy so far?
All rosy.
Is there any particular time that you would say it has really kind of, or area of your marriage, of your life, that it has affected your husband? Like, maybe he thought, oh my God, any regret any time? Or not, maybe regret is a strong word. Like, did he feel like, what did I get myself into?
Not regrets, but that constant worry. If he's at work, he's worried. And if he sees me lying down, he's thinking, because he also has to provide for the family. He has to take care of us, especially with my own health. So when I'm not feeling well, he gets worried and like, just pray that I pray this gets better, so you don't need to have to go in. So it's definitely not easy, and that's why I give him so much props. It's not easy. It's very challenging, and he's had to step in and take care of the kids from a very young age. And there are times as well that I really feel for him, because he will go out having fun, and then he will
have to
call
run back
just
home.
to check. Yeah, he will call just to check on me, or I'll have to call him and say, babe, I can't stand. But he will always be like, okay,
those are
I'm
the
coming.
challenges.
Or even if I say I'm okay, he knows now how I'm feeling, and he will be like, you're not okay. And to the point, because I'm so stubborn, I was like that with my mom as well. There are times I don't like going into hospital, even though I've spent half my life.
You're not alone on that one. I don't
like going in. So
able to take medication.
There are times he will get so frustrated with me, because he's like, I don't know why you're punishing yourself. Like, but for me, I want to try. But he's like, I've come to know you. I know the stage that you're in, so that you can cope by yourself. But I will still fight to the point sometimes you have to go and hide and call ambulance, because
I don't trust what this man is trying to hide the pain.
Upset with that. It's very difficult. He's constantly worried about his job. He's constantly, there's certain opportunities that he cannot make use of, because at the end of the day we have this uncertainty and the circumstances that can pop in at any time. And
definitely the reason why I wanted us to look at that, because as in every marriage, right? In every marriage, there's ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? So there's always that challenge that goes on when it's happy, when things are good, and when things are challenges comes our way. So now this condition, is it treatable? Is there any cure for this?
For now, as far as I know, there isn't a cure per se.
Okay.
But there are, management, treatment, and besides, over time, as you get this pain, you also will understand what works for you, what doesn't.
Yeah.
So every person's treatment plan is very different.
Okay.
Like with me now, I don't thankfully stay in hospital long. Sometimes I'll just be there overnight, 2 nights, and I will want to jump and go back home. So I try my best to manage at home, and the doctors as well, they've known me, since I was a teenager. So they also trust in me and know that I am responsible enough to know that, they've never had any issues with me. So there are treatments, and for me right now, I'm on something called blood exchange transfusion, whereby I do it every 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. So I'll go in, and they will remove like most percentage of your blood, and then what they do, they replace it with donor blood that does not have any sickles. So what that does is it reduces the percentage of those cells, the
sickles,
the sickle cells. Yes. So that looks like the moon, helps like a half moon. Yeah, like a crescent shape. That helps you to kind of cope for a couple of weeks. For everybody, it's different. Some people need it every month, some every 6 weeks, some every 8 weeks. It's different depending. But the problem with all sickle cell people, the normal person, usually your blood cells will take 120 days to break down. Ours starts breaking down from 14 days. So after 2 weeks, your blood starts to replicate to recreate the sickle cell again. So the ones that you have will start to break down and turn to sickle. So it's a process that has to be repeated. It's an ongoing process. Yes. So
what really inspired me a lot about your story is the fact that you went on to own your own organization. Can you tell us about this? It's a non-governmental organization. Tell us about the charity.
Yeah, so for me, career-wise, when I was in school, I was always somebody, like academically, I was always good because, I can't do most of the things. I had to be good at something. So academic-wise, that was what I was good at.
Yeah.
So, but because of my health and everything, so I was advised to just go and do something like drama or whatnot. But I was like, but that's not what I'm into. That's not my passion. I wanted to go to university and do
people
business.
were suggesting
yes, I remember
based on the fact that you've got this
exactly, career advisors, and even like some medical people were saying it will be too much stress on you, it will only make your condition worse, and like basically like what's the point of even having it, because what are you going to be doing?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do with it? So that sort of thing. But for me, I am the kind of person I like to challenge myself, and I like to do something that feels okay with me. I'm not doing it to please anybody. I'm just, this is what I want to do. So I went on to 6th form, and throughout 6th form, my attendance was never good. But
is that as a result of
the crisis? I spent more time in hospital than I spent in school.
Class.
But one thing with me, even in hospital, when I'm ready to do something, I can be sleepy and this. I still get stuff done because for me, I always knew that life is not here.
Audience, are you following?
Life,
no excuses,
Yeah, I knew life. Everybody has their difficulty.
Yes,
mine might be health related.
That. Yes.
Other person, somebody else's might be going through financial issues, mental issues, you name it, family issues. So this should not be the reason why I can't do something. I went on to uni. It was a struggle. I was sick. And I spent so much time away from lectures that some lecturers did not even remember me anymore. But I persevered. And within the 3 years, I completed, and I remember my dissertation, they said I was eligible to extension because of my condition. I was in hospital. And I refused it.
Wow,
I said
amazing.
No, because when I go out there in the world, nobody's
going to give me this. Nobody's going to give me extension of anything.
Nobody's going to care whether I've been in hospital. If they want me to get a job done, that's it. So I refused.
You're such a role model. Honestly,
I did my work.
I respect you. Can you tell us? You went and owned your own organization.
Yeah.
Is it as a result? Is it to help people who have the same condition, or is it something different?
Yeah, so after finishing, even though I did so well, I finished university, got my degree, I got a job. And from the get-go, they didn't want to even take me. The minute I said, I revealed that I have sickle cell, even though everything else I was good at, every box I ticked, but the minute I said I have sickle cell, they were very hesitant to employ me. But obviously, they couldn't outward discriminate without a reason,
definitely.
So they employed me,
yeah.
and then started looking for a reason. So eventually, I missed one day of work as a result of being unwell.
Okay.
And I was called in, and they're like, "Oh, this job requires 100%." They tried to look for a loophole, and they dismissed me. And they even told me that day that I can just leave. I didn't have to finish that shift. And I remember leaving, and I was crying. And it was raining, and I felt hopeless. I felt like I lost hope, and I was like, "What's the point of all of this?" And I kind of sank into this depression. But then through that, I started thinking, like, Miriam, what really do you want to do?
Exactly.
What is your passion? Yes, you can go out there, get a job, but you're going to keep it. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to do? And I remember that I've always wanted to help others, other families, people that are going through. So out of that dark situation, I found my passion, which was to make an impact and difference. I was like, you've got the skill, you've gone through this. You can inspire others that feel hopeless as well. So let this experience turn it into something that will help others. So when they are in that situation is where they would not give up, because I almost did. So I spoke to my family. They supported me full on. So that was when I founded and registered the Dora Foundation.
Dora Foundation. Audience, we're going to give you the opportunity to see a wonderful organization that this wonderful friend of mine, Miriam Kay, she single-handedly put up for herself.
The Dora Foundation is a non-profitable foundation that supports sickle cell sufferers and develop youths, especially talented youths. The CEO herself is a victim who is suffering from the same sickle cell disease. So as a result, we have decided as a foundation to create awareness to people who are suffering from the same sickle cell disease, give them out medicines for free, teach them, encourage them, and let them know that all is not lost, but they still have a second chance to life. And as we all know, that the saying goes that health is wealth. Health is wealth. So on behalf of our CEO, we want to officially donate these drinking rubbers to this noble institution as a little bestow from the Dora Foundation. And if you know,
as you have seen, that is the foundation that Miriam Kay single-handedly, together with other wonderful people who came along, and she was able to establish, because she's somebody that felt, from her dark situation, she's able to come up with something to also help others, just like she has been helped along the way in her journey of life. Miriam Kay, it's really a pleasure. Having you, I have learned so much. I have, now I understand better. Before I wasn't sure what it was, what it's all about, and I wanted to understand, and I didn't know how to. Even though I live in a society where they talk about it all the time, but it's different when you hear they teach you something. Another thing is actually sitting, face to face with someone who firsthand are in that situation. So I really thank you for coming to teach us, to educate us on this area of living with sickle cell anemia and also being able to fulfill a life. Thank you so much. And audience, as you have heard from my special guest today. See, in life, we all have our challenges. But you see, there's something about putting a name to something. The fact that certain situation or illness, or a disease, is being named does not make it worse than maybe if yours is not classified or yours is not named. We all have something that we are dealing with, but it's the ability to still in that situation be able to achieve and fulfill your purpose. As you have seen, she's a typical example of not giving up no matter what you're going through. Everything is possible, and especially the fact that she was able to find true love. A lot of you right now, from this, I'm sure you have learned that you can still find that person who together you can face life challenges and life journey. Thank you so much, audience, for being a part of today's topic. Your host, Nwachukwu on TinaTalks show. Until next time, and bye for now.